It was beautiful and bright green, and I just really loved this bike. I was really enjoying it, and I didn't have it 5 minutes, and someone knocked our bikes together, and instead of going through the frame, went round my frame, and it was a not a D-lock, like a wire. Petey's pondering, hello Paul and Gemma, what do you do when you're in a bad state of mind?
That is a great question.
He always has the best questions, which I guess is why he's got that name.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I do personally. Bad state of mind. It depends on the severity of the state of mind, if this makes sense. So if I just feel a little bit naff, but not terrible, I'm waving my hands now, just a little bit, I might think, okay, what can I do here to like change my state? Tony Robbins talks a lot about your body, what your body's doing, so standing and being in a way that's more positive and how you'd be if you felt good. I might do some deep breathing, I might utilise movement like a walk or a bike ride. I might put my bare feet on the ground outside, I might journal, things like that I will try. But if I'm feeling really naff, let's say, really bad, and those sort of things just will be good, but it's it would be like I'm trying to make myself feel better when I feel really bad. Instead of trying too hard, I will go in the other direction, and I'll go and I'll lay on the bed and I'll be unconditionally present with how I feel and not try and change it. So almost like a meditation where I'll shut my eyes, I'll ask myself, how do I feel? Okay, I feel anxious. Where do I feel the anxiety? Where is it in my body? What does it feel like? Is it like a heat or a tingling, or does it move? Does it intensify when I focus on it? And I will just do that practice of following it and being with however I feel as it changes. And I can do that for 10 minutes, for an hour, just however long, just being really unconditionally present with myself. And in that way, I'm not trying to feel better. I'm trying to give my feelings what they want, which is to be felt. And that is for me the quickest way, let's say, to feel better, even though I'm not trying to feel better. Does that make sense? That's what I do.
Good word. So it's rare that I'm in a really bad place, but of course we all have our ups and downs. But for me, I allow that for a minute. I think like Jim is saying, kind of what you resist persists. So I feel it, but then I try to reframe it, and I think, is this deadly? Is this going to kill me? Is this the end of the world? Or does it just seem bad from this current position? Because, a lot of things that we stress about are really, on the scale of things, F all. And, if you suddenly found out that you or a loved one had cancer, you'd very quickly think, what the hell was I concerned about this, and this would be all consuming, and you would have something to worry about. Do you know what I mean? So I try to practice gratitude, and I think I eat well, I move, I meditate, I've started having cold showers in the morning. I think all of that kind of stuff as well is very CBD oil. My life has come to a really good place. But also I am doing all these practices, so I think through a bit of both, happily, I don't tend to have, a bad state of mind very often, or particularly a very, very bad one.
Yeah, I really like what you said there. Yeah, I'd say that as well, reframing and asking yourself, okay, in a week from now, in a month from now, this thing that I'm worrying about, or this way that I feel, or thing that's troubling me, will it even be on my radar? Yeah, and gratitude, so if you're feeling really grateful for something or someone, you can't feel fear at the same time as feeling gratitude, or whatever the emotion is So if you can get yourself in a really grateful space, that's really helpful. And with depression, if you, instead of focusing on yourself and what's going on internally, if you switch your focus to, how can I serve? How can I help? What can I do for someone else? Or who can I support?
That's huge.
Or what can I do outside of myself? That's really important for depression. There's so many things. I think it depends exactly where you are, what you're going through. One thing I'm just thinking now is so for one person, the path where they're at, it might be the best for them to instead of focusing so much on themselves, to focus outwards on others. But for somebody else, from where they're at, the right path for them might be to focus more on them, because they usually focus more externally. So it's like so individual based on where people are at as to what maybe they should do, you know. But there's so many tools out there, so many different things that you can try out for yourself and think, okay, well, you know, maybe I'll try journaling for a month and see what that's like, or whatever, you know. I think we should try things out and see how it is for us.
Nice. Yeah. Just remember this story. Mm-hmm. So one of the sort of worst things that's happened in like recent months was had my bike stolen. I'd never had a bike stolen before, and I just got this bike, and I was really pleased with it. I got it at a steal, although it was still like very expensive, but I got it for, you know, a lot of money off. And it was beautiful and bright green, and I just really loved this bike. I was really enjoying it, and I didn't have it 5 minutes, and someone locked our bikes together, and instead of going through the frame, went round my frame, and it was a not a D-lock, like a wire, and someone nicked it. They just basically like opened it up and pulled the bike through and just went off of it, because Gemma's bike was still locked up. And you know, we weren't doing terribly well financially at the time, and I was really gutted that, you know, it was this new bike that I really loved, but I just decided in that moment that I'm going to be all right with it, and I'll just get another bike and whatever. And yeah, I managed to just not even bat an eyelid. And the reason this bike was so cheap was it was kind of the end of a line kind of thing, and that was the only one in the shop at the time. I went back to the shop. They had one more come in, and it was the last ever one. And so the next minute I had the same bike again. It was like it never went. And
what about when we were walking?
Oh, yeah. I meant to say that, yeah. So, I'll let you say it.
Well, we were walking home, so you had to go and get a taxi.
Yeah, so straight after it got nicked. Yeah.
And we walked past a homeless person setting up. Oh, I feel really sad.
Yeah. Just with his cardboard boxes in a doorway, shop door, with a sleeping bag. And I just thought to myself, like, I've got a roof over my head, I've got warmth, like, you know, I could be this poor guy, you know. And it just and immediately I knew it was like we just had this little chat, and the next second that happened, and it was like the universe was showing me, yeah, you're right not to be concerned about that. That's nothing. You said
something like along the lines of, well, what have I got to complain about? At least I'm not him, you know. It could be much worse, you know. Yeah, not. I didn't mean that in a like negative way, but like, yeah, at least I have a home, you know, and this poor guy doesn't, you know.
Yeah, bless him. Yeah. Woo! We'll be back on again Monday, 6 p.m. GMT. We're on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at that time. Set a reminder on your phone. YouTube won't tell you, they're bloody useless.
Can I say two things?
Yes.